right, so let's do a little rhythm. We're going to bust some different variations of some chords. Not going to get all into this is a sharp 7/9 with the flatted fifth and the bass root. We're going to go erratically instead of theoretically today. One of these days I'll break down all these chords for you. But in the sake of time, I'm just going to show you frets. And then I also want you, of course, to check out guitarjams.com, which, you know, will give you all that theoretical knowledge which you crave and desire. What we're going to base this on is just a 1-4-5 blues progression, right? We got the E, A, B, right? But what we're going to do is we're going to take some open versions of a chord and we're going to tweak the notes a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the top part on the first strum with a little, you know, picking the higher strings. And then what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate more on making, you know, sharp jabs and moving around a note here on the B and the high E strings to create a melody, right? So we can play an E chord, but over the top of that we can create a whole counter melody going on beneath it to kind of drive the song and kind of imply, you know, the melody that we want, so the singer or whoever, you know, you're jamming with can, you know, have some melody to go off of. And then we're also going to just do some different inversions of the chords or different, you know, take off a finger here, a finger there, and really experiment with what we can do on a basic chord progression when we just start moving our fingers around. And then I'm going to throw a couple other chords from the major chord progression, an E, in there too, and then show you how to go to a different spot on the fretboard so you don't really have to drastically change the structure or the chords of your song, but just by moving up to a higher register, you know, you get a different sound. So you can cheat and only know like 4 chords, but make it, you know, all work somehow in some way into a song. So here we go. Basic E open position. All I'm going to do is I'm going to add my pinky, and it's going to hit the F sharp, which is the 2nd fret high E. I'm going to take it off. I'm going to put it on to the B string, 2nd fret, and I'm going to slide as soon as I hit that, and then tuck it back to the 2nd fret. So I'm sliding from 2nd fret to 3rd fret. A little trickier than it seems. Back to the 2nd fret. And then off. So we got now again I'm going, that's a full strum, and then from here on out I'm just going to be hitting the G, B, and E strings basically, and then I'm going to mute up on those lower strings to get a more percussive sound. Right, so we're playing on different strings to get a different effect. In the beginning we want that nice whole fat chord, and then when we do the punches we don't necessarily want so much sound coming through, because as you're playing in a band, a bass player will be holding down that lower register, which frees us up as guitar players not to have to constantly washboard the strings, right? Which just means hitting all the strings at once. So you can play those higher notes of the chords and really punch through. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go to an A chord. But what we're going to basically do is take off our 2nd finger. So we're going to have 2nd fret D, open G, 2nd fret B, and then I'm also going to use 2nd fret B, 3rd fret B, that is, 2nd fret, 3rd fret B, and then back to 2nd fret. So the A has got this nice open sound now. Right, so right away, instead of just going, right, instead of doing the E, basic 1-4-5 blues jam in E major, right? Now we have all these different melody notes on top of it. So you start to take on a little more of that like Stone Temple Pilots or Beatles or whatever kind of feel where it's blues-based music, but they're throwing in all these other cool chords to get different tones and textures. You know, so it just doesn't sound like a typical chord progression. Right? Now we're going to go to that B chord. You know, like I said, the A is just two different things. It's 2nd fret, 3rd fret, from the A string down. Okay? And then we're going to go to the B chord, not your typical B chord here, but we're going to go 2nd fret, A string, 1st fret, D string, 2nd fret, G string, open B, 2nd fret, E. You can also play with putting your pinky, making that Hendrix-esque kind of chord. That would be your pinky on the B string, 3rd fret. You can tuck it in. Right, so we're just following that same kind of, you know, 1-4-5 blues progression pattern, but we're throwing in some different notes there. Okay, now, so we got